Hello, I'm Tan the TamBoTC channel. My friend Dave is not here right now, so I'll talk briefly about this, but I do kind of want to do like a almost podcast thing or whatever, talking more in depth about this. But I wanted to briefly, as long as it does come out briefly, but I want to talk about like the stuff with like Asmongold and AI. Um, Asmongold just seems like somebody that's kind of pretentious, and he kind of goes into that problem that I've taught that I use the same demonstration with, and I can't believe I have to use it again. But when you're an employee in a store and you have a customer acting up, what choices do you do or act out when it comes to the situation? Do you A, attack that customer back because they're being rude, be rude back? Do you B, try to settle the situation in a peaceful way and try to get that person what they want and out of your store as quickly as possible? Then there's C, you could get your boss or manager and hope that they can handle the situation better than you can. And it seems with the way that Asmongold has handled things, sometimes he picks that first option of attacking back or being an asshole. Especially with the OTK thing and some of the other stuff going on around that. He would just shut people down. Like, there are so many different ways you can go about that without ruining your reputation and looking like a complete dickhead. You have so many options, and I don't think you picked the right ones in my personal opinion. But when it comes to the AI stuff, I don't know I don't know who to agree with on that stuff. I think some ordinary gamer did a good video, and of course Asmongold had to come in and do his video where basically as a response, which is fine, but you can tell what he's trying to do here. Uh, but yeah, I don't agree with certain aspects of what Asmongold says. I do think artists are important, and like there are certain things you have to think about with this scenario. I'll get to those in a little bit, but like I love art. I love people who have made so many brilliant pieces of art and the designs into a lot of our favorite characters, whether it's the Joker or Batman or a lot of the characters from my favorite video game series, Mass Effect. Somebody designed those characters, and we've had so many great characters and pieces of art over the time, and we've loved those people. I love drawing myself, so of course I'm connected to the art pieces. Not everybody always has the talent to do the same thing, unless you dedicate your heart to it. But even with as cheesy as that sounds, but I'm Jeff Goldbluming up with while I do that, sadly. But yeah, like it's hard to describe. I think that AI, my friend has more in depth than me, but he does the one thing he brings out is there always got to be a person to manage and update and take care of that AI. So there's always going to be a person. I don't think every job for a person is going to be completely gone. There'll probably be some situations where that is definitely a factor, and and hopefully our system would correct itself and how things play out to try and balance that to actually work. But there's always got to be somebody to take care of that stuff when it breaks down or something goes wrong. I mean, for example, there was like if you have a kiosk that's self-serviced at a store and it breaks down or glitches, you have somebody there always to be ready to repair it or whatever, figure out what's wrong. And then there's other scenarios like that one stream where or whatever where this AI denied a genocide and got banned for it. So even the AI is unpredictable in how they would get get themselves just banned or something else going on that just like you can't completely predict. And I really doubt AI will get to the point of replacing stuff like actors and such, and not to the extent that people think. I think people are thinking way ahead of themselves, honestly, as well as AI will never probably get to that point where it's like the world of Isaac Asimov, for example, or something like the Terminator. I don't think AI would ever get to that point. I think still people would have to be in control of that stuff. Take drones, for example. Like, there's still got to be people in control of that stuff for the most part. So, and it really depends on who's behind the stuff, whether they're dangerous or not, and what they're going to use it for, whether it's for good or bad. But with AI art, like it feels kind of lazy from the person perspective, because once again, because you have to have that person, there is work that they do, but it does feel a lot less, and like a lot of these bigger companies and such with tons of people working for them, like yeah, I think once again, some ordinary gamer did say certain things that are like much better depth than I could say with this part. What was it I was gonna get to? There's also another thing. I actually I can't remember exactly what it was, but I actually believe a quote from Nostalgia Critic kind of plays relevancy to something, like when he was talking about it's the consumer's choice. If the game is just fun, it's the consumer's choice. Here's the problem with that: consumers can be manipulated into certain things, or you could keep giving them the same crap. Therefore, they're not gonna know what's good for them or what they actually want when you keep giving them the same crap. Or there's fatigue situations too, like, you know how Star Wars has fatigued people, just so much of that crap, and now I feel the same thing probably with microtransactions. It's just kind of become the norm, sadly, and people are getting so tired of it and fighting back against it that some people are even kind of giving up or giving in. So there's a lot of different things to think about with the consumer, because the consumer, while I would side probably more with the consumer, that doesn't mean the consumer is always right, or that the scenario with the consumers. And it's weird too, because I've talked about in the past where when I use fan bases, for example, where I say that not everybody in a fan base is necessarily bad or awful people. They know there's people bound to be smart and intelligent and know what they're talking about and have some good input and context, whatever it may be that they have. And yeah, there's the other side of the coin where there are dumbasses that are very nasty and rude. Like, it's not like they don't exist. They exist on both sides. It's like two sides of the coin. And that same thing can also be said for this. And this, I think that was Nostalgia Critic's Lorax video, where he showed that that movie was teaching them that the bad guys are more of the stereotypical bad guys, like they had a business bad guy or whatever that's greedy. And they the little kid demonstrated, asked, yeah, is that me? And like, no, you're not anything like him. He's evil, you're good. It's like, okay, daddy. And they throw trash on the ground, and it's symbolizing that people kind of become that evil. It's kind of like the hypocrisy of that movie, where it's, or even Fern Gully, for example, where it's like trying to say save the trees, even though it's made from paper that came from trees. It's showing a clear demonstration there and I think it's kind of relevant a little bit to this situation, and even if it's not the whole of it, but what it gets to at the core, I feel like is somewhat relevant to what I'm trying to say with this. Yeah, there's There's just like a lot of different things. I don't know. Like I'd have to get Dave in here. He can talk more into the like the AI side of things. For me, I like it when somebody puts the work in and makes something creative. There's always something stylistic and interesting about something. Like when I look at something work made by like Tim Burton or whatever, that can definitely be replicated, but it can't be originalized or whatever. Like I feel like not everything can have the type of personality and original ideas of something like that again. And there's been so many ideas used, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for more creativity and such. And I do feel like that the AI, while I don't go against people using it, I do think that there's more than meets the eye, as Optimus Prime would say, uh, to certain things. And I think that there is there should be more room, honestly, for people who create art rather than AI creating art. When I would use, if I were to use like AI for something, I would just use it for something goofy or an interesting video. I don't think I would want to use it to take over an entire channel and be its own thing and manage its own thing, which once again, you probably still need a person behind that. So it kind of feels like, what's the point of that in a way? You still got a person that has to operate that stuff. I don't think it's going to always operate fully functional. It kind of reminds me of the Doug stuff when he uses AI for some of his stuff, and then the AI starts going haywire and saying really weird, ridiculous things, and you hope that it won't say something offensive eventually. It just gets freaking weirder and weirder as it goes. Like, AI is certainly interesting for situations, but like there are different things to think about with it, and even consequences too. But I wouldn't say it's Terminator level consequences. Well, unless the people behind it mean it for evil or some sort of disgusting thing. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. Maybe I'll get Dave on a podcast with it. I want to know your thoughts. Tell me what you think. It's quite a big thing to talk about. Like, my problem with Asmongold mostly is just he's been very pretentious lately. He's been very rude. Once again, harkening back to that thing I just said near the beginning of this video. And he's kind of that guy. He seems like that guy that's like, no, your opinion sucks. Mine is the only one that is right. And it's kind of like he gloats in his own words and he thinks he's high and mighty. It kind of sucks. I mean, you could say the same for me, but I would hope that I don't seem like I'm gloating in that or I relish it or something. Relish. Because I feel like it's much more obvious with him that he actually kind of likes the sound of his voice in a way. Actually, ironically, I don't like the sound of my voice. But yeah, like uh, it's just gotten ridiculous, and there's so many things going on around Asmongold. I'm just done with him in general. I don't like talking about stuff around him. I thought it was done with him forever ago. It's just ridiculous, and I'm kind of sick of it. I'm done watching his crap. He's just too pretentious and nasty for me. He's just not for me personally. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say. I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. Sorry that, like, most of these, like, videos that are talking about drama are mostly negative, and I hate negative stuff. Like, it's the reason I hate watching the news or anything, and I don't watch the news most of the time. But that doesn't mean I don't know of certain news and stuff. But, yeah, it's not like I don't pay attention, but it's just so many scenarios that I take interest in or I have something to add or contribute or talk about. are sadly pointed in that negative way. And yeah. And sadly, people do watch for the negative stuff sometimes, so who knows? That's not really the point of what I'm trying to get at, but, and why I do it, is mostly because I have something to contribute or say to add to the situation. And I'm wondering from you what you think and what your perspective or whatever it may be is. So we've seen many different perspectives. And it's all right to make a video on discussing somebody else. I mean, Asmongold did it for some ordinary gamer, and some ordinary gamer did it for him. Everybody does it for somebody. But to be completely nasty and disgusting about it is just going too far. Yeah. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I'm done. So remember, if you did find something informative or interesting, whatever it may be, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. I kind of want to get back to my fun videos. I want to get back to my read-alongs and stuff, whatever they may be. And I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. And I will see you next time. Have an awesome day, and goodbye.